Okay, let's have a look at elements. Elements are the building blocks of matter. So they are fundamental substances that can't be broken down through chemical or physical means. Elements are made up of one type of atom only. As we've already said, atoms are the simplest form of matter. Now we can get our elements forming in two different types. We can either get them as single atoms, and we've got some good examples of that, or they can form what are called molecules. So the same types of atoms, but they're joined together so that we get a unit that's made up of more than one atom. Now, in order for us to structure the way that we see the universe, we order or we number our elements in increasing complexity. So our simplest type of element is hydrogen, and we label that as number 1. In future, we'll have a look at the periodic table, and we'll have a look at the numbers of different elements. Now, we name our elements because we like our language to be consistent, so we name it according to a few different principles. We derive the names through properties, places, and people in general. So, for example, we've got iodine. Iodine comes from the Greek word iodes, which means violet-like. Iodine in its solid form or in its gaseous form has a purplish colour to it, or a violet colour. We can also get europium, which comes from Europe, the place Europe. And we can also get fermium, which is named after Enrico Fermi. Now, in order for us to represent elements, we have to come up with some system that's consistent. So diagrammatically, we can come up with a single atom that represents our element. And you'll notice here we've got 3 symbols. In this case, I'm indicating that we've got 3 different types of elements. We could also join 2 of those together into a molecule, but at the same time we're representing this as one single element as well. So we can represent our elements diagrammatically, but we can also represent them symbolically. And we have to do it so other people understand us. So there are 3 rules to symbolically represent our elements. First of all, they're 1 or 2 letters only. And the exceptions are those that haven't actually been named according to what we said before. So we've got an unpentium and an unseptium that don't have any official names yet. So they're given a name that represents a number. So assuming that we're using the 1 or 2 letter ones only, secondly we say that if they've got 1 letter, it's always capitalized. And finally, if there's 2 letters in the symbol, or in the shorthand symbol form, the first one only is capitalized. So we've got 4 examples. First of all, we've got an F, so a single letter. First letter must be capitalized. This one is short for fluorine. In our second example, we've got a capital F and a little e. This is our symbol for iron. So notice that only the first letter is capitalized. We've got another example of a 2-letter symbol, capital C, little o, and this is cobalt. And then finally I've got a capital C and a capital O. Now according to our rules up here, we've got 2 letters, but only the first one should be capitalized. So this particular representation here is not a single element, but it's actually 2 elements together. We have a capital C, which is carbon, and we have a capital O, which is oxygen. This is a compound rather than an element, and we call this compound carbon monoxide.